Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar exploring the latest portfolio news. First of all, let me thank you, all of you, for being here today with us. Let me start to introduce myself. My name is Dario Vitali. I'm the Sales Director of Eelectron, responsible for the coordination of the global commercial activities. I'm here today with my colleagues Andrea Pontoglio, Global Product Specialist, and Andrea Padovan, our Digital Transformation Manager, to talk about the panorama of novelties and innovation that we have recently developed. This talk is divided into three main parts. Have a look at our history and facts, describing our long-term vision and daily commitment. Secondly, we will be talking about the new products and enhancement, the main topic of our webinar. Finally, we will be looking at our initiatives, describing the marketing tools, the calendar, and Q&A session that I kindly ask you to interact with at the end of the webinar. Let's now have a look at our story and facts. Eelectron is a family company. Our history started in 1994. We're based in Milano, northern Italy, in Legnano to be precise. And our focus is to develop products and application with an Italian design and Italian technology. We are a multinational company. We're an international company. We have partners worldwide, and we have offices in Asia Pacific, in China, Middle East, and Europe. These are our branches, our commercial offices to trade our products worldwide. We've been a KNX manufacturer since 2005, and we have a KNX training center that is here in Italy, and on request we can do KNX trainings also worldwide because we have a few tutors that are working with us, few KNX tutors. We focus our efforts in continuous product evolution, design customization, and recently we developed the big data generation, the analysis of the information from the KNX automation system to enhance the energy management. We have a specialization in hospitality. We're proud to say that we have done more than 800 guest management system, and we are controlling now more than 36,000 hotel rooms in the world. But our offer, our portfolio of products doesn't limit only in the hospitality. As you probably know, we can cover the different verticals from home automation, residential building automation, and hospitality related projects. We have an international experience. We help our clients to find the most suitable technological solution for projects worldwide. We have a multi-language skill technical support, and our products, of course, they are in compliance with the KNX Worldwide certification. We are a pioneer of developing the KNX stack. So we participated to the creation of the KNX stack that is now secure. And recently we started to develop technologies such as Bluetooth, low energy for our wireless controlling products, IoT devices, applications, DALI, and MQTT. That is a novelty that my colleague Andrea will explain later. Let's move forward. In this slide, we can see how we are listening to the evolving needs and trend of clients and markets on the side of owners, from the owners to the specifiers, architects, or ICT, energy, and HR managers. And we have in mind the occupants' focal points. We can see as room and space trend, healthy spaces, comfort, wellness, sustainability, and environmental social governance. And of course, user experience counts, and it's always more demanding because everybody is asking for easy to install, simple to expand, fast to maintain, reliable to use are the request from the market. And evolving technology is the other key point, where we ask for secure connecting, modularity, and expandability, real-time quality data enabling digital application. Of course, not forgetting the building managers and operators user experience, since lower total installation cost plus remote maintenance are becoming key everywhere. Okay, the building side is now less relevant while becoming more intelligent. Let's now turn on our product portfolio, the continuous product evolution and big data generation. Start with our modular building automation array of products dedicated to HVAC, lighting, blinds control, and other mixable applications with unique aspects such as the SD card option, compact interfaces, I/O compact universal module, circadian cycle control. Moreover, our user experience is enhanced by the design functionality of 3025, 9025 range, Electa family of user interfaces dedicated to a customizable experience that is offering added values such as air quality and environmental monitoring with access control and advanced readers and numeric keypad. Finally, the evolution continues with the innovation of the bridge, extensively explained in this webinar with the MQTT functionality and also in previous webinars, in addition to the Design Award multi-sensor family range and custom touch panels for which you will see another preview later on in this webinar. I'd like to move on to the key benefits of the Eelectron portfolio and solutions, focus on energy efficiency and sustainability, with a particular attention to occupants and building operators' user experiences. The wire and wireless connected room automation generates the big data finalized to the analysis of the digital applications, resulting in a significant contribution of Eelectron to the smart building. Here now is Andrea, our product specialist, to talk about the panorama of novelties and innovations. See you later in what's next session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dario, for the introduction of today. My name is Andrea Pontolio, as a global product specialist here in Eelectron. Today, I want to present you what will be new in our portfolio very soon. And I would like to start with the 20 amps actuator. We are releasing now 2 new devices of 8 channel each one with the 20 amps relay. Starting from the 20 amp relay with to control light and generic load, and we will have the opportunity to have a mechanical override on the module. These are the 2 devices, and now we will see in detail what we can do with each device. Starting from the BO08S02 KNX version, that is a 20 amp relay with 8 channel output. This means, as we said before, that we can control up to 8 single light for generic load or light management, plus a custom interlock. This means that we can enable interlock from 2 to 8 relay. Thanks to this device, you can connect more circuit with more load, of course, since we have a 20 amps relay, and also the peak current that we can support is more than a 16 amp relay. Inside our device, you will find all the ETS parameter and function that you already know about the single relay management. But in this case, we add also some new feature like 8 logic blocks to have the opportunity to enable logics and customize your project as you wish to fulfill any requirement from the end user. And we also add the RBIT function on the device. This function permits the device itself to say to the KNX bus that this device is online by sending cyclically an on or a toggle command on the KNX bus. The front panel is also removable. This means that you can remove the front panel plastic from the device to access directly on the relay. If the mains voltage is removed from the system, you can turn on and off the relay and later give back the main voltage. This is, of course, for security reasons. So this is, let's say, a classic 20 amp relay, where we have also some counter function on it, starting from the number of commutation, means that we can count how many times the relay is open and closed, or only open or only closed. We can reset this value, means that we can decide when we want to start to count how many times the light or the contact is closed or open. And we have also a calculated energy meter counter. I say calculated since there is no energy meter inside this device, but we have the opportunity to calculate, let's say, energy consumption. This is because we can say in the ETS parameter that the output will consume 100 volts, and in this way we can calculate how many kilowatt hour the output will consume. ETS, as I said, is the same ETS database that you can find on the F series and the K series of our actuator to control light and interlock. And with the 20 amps relay, we can support up to 500 amps for 2 milliseconds. I want to present you the second module called the BO08S01 KNX. That is still a 20 amps relay actuator, always 8 channel output, and everything that we saw before is present also in this version. In this case, we add the opportunity to not calculate, but measure the real active power and consumption of the output. This because inside each output there is a current sensing feature with a true RMS method. RMS stands for root mean square value. And thanks to this hardware, we can not count but measure the real consumption of the output. So we can say how much is the active power of the output or how many energy we use with this output. Everything that I said before is still present in this module. We have the opportunity to remove, for example, the front panel, to have a manual override on the switches, or we can enable logic blocks to customize our building with custom function. The ETS is similar, but in this case we have of course, the opportunity to have the current sensing of each output, and this can enable some particular function that nowadays for the energy problem is more and more requesting to us. Starting from the total load control means that like in Italy, we have a problem with the energy that can be supplied in a certain residential project. For example, in our houses, by default, we can consume maximum 3 kilowatts. After that, we have a blackout in our houses from the electrical service provider. Thanks to this model, we can calculate the total consumption of our house and decide if we want to turn off some load to reduce the total consumption. Otherwise, other function that we can enable is the opportunity to open a relay if the maximum load is reached, since we can limit the maximum consumption for each output if you want, and disable the output if this limit is achieved. This because think about projects like student houses, where the student coming in this building mount some electrical heater that consume 2-3 kilowatts each one. And if you think that in each room someone can plug this electrical heater, the consumption of the hotel will be very high. To avoid this issue, we can say in the student house, each socket is controlled by the actuator. So each output can be used to control one socket. And thanks to this actuator, as said, we can enable this kind of threshold of the consumption. Another function very important is the opportunity to understand if the load is present or not. This because if I send the on command on the actuator and the actuator close the relay, I estimate a consumption from the load that I connected. If the consumption remains zero or is less than the nominal consumption that I put in the ETS, means that something is broken or is not working properly in the output. So this enable you a lot of function also for diagnostic, as you can see from this slide. And I think that will be a good product for your project and your solution. Going ahead with the product, I want to show you the new constant voltage dimmer for LED control. So it's an evolution of our DL04A01 KNX. Now the code is DL04A02, since it's the second version KNX, where we still have 4 channels as output for the RGB or RGB white control. But in this case, the device is more powerful. This because the old one has a maximum limit of 4 amp for each output. Now we have the opportunity to wire up to 6 amp for each output. This means that we can wire LED strips more longer or more powerful than before. We are releasing also some accessories to complete our portfolio. Following the needs and requests from the market, in the catalog, you will find a new cable that is an accessory for the presence detector, where this cable is a pre-wired cable of 10 meters that you can connect directly on the back of our presence detector, since the connector is already present in this cable. And this is very useful for hotel application, in my opinion, where you have to wire the door contact with our KNX presence detector to enable the virtual holder function. This because can help to reduce the installation time and installation process, since you have just to plug and play this cable, because you have to plug in one way on the presence detector, and in the other side of the cable, you have just to screw the magnetic door contact. Why we developed this cable? Because a lot of customers request us this, so you don't have to wire a new cable. It's a plug and play solution for you. In addition, we release a new accessory for the reinstallation of our push button interfaces. We received a request that sometimes for space, we have to use one push button interface to integrate inputs inside the electrical cabinet, but the input module that we have already in portfolio is too big for this kind of installation. So we have released this new accessory in plastic where you can just plug these on the DIN rail and plug inside our push button interface. So it could be the IO22D01 KNX 44 or 62. In addition, we release a new cable clamp for the presence detector. So this plastic accessory must be mounted on the back of the presence detector and is used to clamp the input wire that we have on the back of the presence detector itself. This could be very useful when you mount and dismount the product from the ceiling, avoiding the cable disconnection from the device itself. So this can be very useful for maintenance and also for installation procedure. Last product that we will see today will be the bridge that is a power supply with IP interface, and the order code is IPS BA01 KNX. The bridge, KNX power supply plus IP connection. So it's like to have a power supply plus an IP interface. Pay attention, it's not an IP router. It means that there is no multicast connection and there is no KNX backbone, but we will have a lot of advanced functions that we can enable inside the device, starting from the diagnostic feature, MQTT, schedulers, and others that we will see now. Regarding this device, I want to remember you that is an IP interface, so a gateway between a twisted pair cable of KNX and the IP world, always over KNX, is also a power supply for KNX and has also the auxiliary power supply, and the total output could be maximum 640 milliamps. And as dimension is very compact, since this model will occupy only 4 modules on your electrical board. This can help you to reduce the cost of the installation and of the project. This because the cost of this device will be less than one power supply plus one IP interface. So, as said at the beginning, inside the bridge, we will find also some logic, starting from common logic like AND or XOR, not logic gate. But we will have also logic complex expression with the math operation we can perform, conditional operator, threshold, and so on. And also the scenario conditional that we saw also in previous webinar, like the if then else, if this happen, do that, otherwise send this other value on the output. We will have some predefined algorithm like the dew point calculation or the conversion between proportional fan coil to an off fan coil or vice versa. I said we will have also scheduler. This because the bridge can receive from KNX the date and time, or can connect over IP an NTP server and send the date and time on KNX-TP to keep aligned the date and time on our KNX system. And thanks to that, we can also enable up to 16 weekly scheduler inside the device, means that we can enable from ETS static timers. And we will have also up to 8 different virtual order application. This means that we can use this also in the hospitality solution, where we have to propose our virtual badge, and with only one device, we can enable the brain, the logic of virtual badge for 8 rooms. Of course, we still require a KNX presence detector or a conventional presence detector in the room, and the magnetic door contact integrated in a KNX input to receive the information of the door and information of the presence inside the room. And in addition, it can act as an IP interface, as we said. Some information over the IP world. We have the opportunity to enable up to 6 simultaneous connection over the IP, means that we can enable 6 tunneling connection to the device point to point. We can calculate and count how many power failure we had on the KNX bus. It can be very useful for maintenance purposes, because we can understand if the system had a power failure also without a logger. We can monitor the actual voltage and actual current consumption of the bridge, so we can understand if we already reached the maximum consumption that we can supply with this power supply. And in addition, we have the opportunity to enable the online-offline function on this device. That is similar to our logic module LM00B01 KNX that we saw in a previous webinar, where we can say how many devices we have in our KNX trunk and check if they are online. If not, or better, if the bridge doesn't receive any command for a while, it starts to perform some memory read on this device to understand if these devices are online or not. If not, an alarm telegram can be sent to the KNX bus to advise, for example, a BMS system that a particular device in this moment is not online. Just a quick view on the ETS. Last function that we want to show you is, let's say, the 16 timers, 16 surveillance logic. We will have also the diagnostic feature and 8 logic blocks. In these 8 logic blocks, as you can see, you can enable or for logic for each block, or one virtual holder application, or we can enable up to 20 MQTT channels. This because probably you saw the logo before of MQTT in our slide when I was presenting the bridge, because the bridge could be an MQTT client and can connect external MQTT broker. In this way, we can publish and receive information using the MQTT protocol. This morning, present this slide where we saw how the requests from the building are changing and moving. With the bridge, we can reply to the why we require this bridge. So because we need to enable empty spaces, increase the comfort and the wellness of the occupant, check if we are energy efficient in our building and if we have sustainability in our building, and how we can do that with real-time data and enabling digital application. And the bridge will help you to enable all of these functions. We already work with the modular building automation nowadays with our KNX system, where we talk with system integrator, distributors, or also BMS players who taking care about the mechanical part of the HVAC or the building management software. So in most of our projects, the KNX part is eventually integrated with a BMS system where we can enable monthly consumption report or a few other functions. But nowadays, the requests are changing since the end users and the occupant of the building starts to ask for maintenance analysis, dashboarding, real-time monitor, including load control, and also the IT department of buildings are start to request function or data information from our KNX system. This could be on-premise or also over cloud. A lot of time, the IT guy already use MQTT. So the players with the project are not only now the system integrators, distributor, and BMS configurator, but also IT department, a PropTech guy, or advanced system integrator that will ask to integrate different system and not only protocol, but also IoT devices. And a lot of the time, the request is with MQTT. And the issue with KNX is how we can connect MQTT. As we saw, the same could be done thanks to our bridge. This because the bridge will be present in each KNX trunk because it's a power supply, so it's mandatory to have a power supply. You will have the IP connection for your maintenance and your configuration of the device, but as said, it could be also a gateway, bidirectional gateway for MQTT, and will be also secure. And later, my colleague Andrea will explain you the security level of our bridge. Just to understand why we are developing this kind of product, we want to show you an example of how it's changed also the car market. Because yesterday the request was, is the car equipped with ABS, air conditioner, electronic glasses, radio stereo, so standard application. Now the real request of the end user is the car equipped with LED, is compatible with Android and iOS system. So as you can see, there is an incremental request of technology also in our car, not only in our building. So to follow all of these requests, we think that the bridge will help you a lot to integrate IoT world with our KNX project. I want to conclude my part saying that this is an incremental request and not a replacement request. It means that every kind of request that you received until today, like, I need to control light, shutter, HVAC, will remain. But we are pretty sure that in the next years, the request to integrate IoT device and other protocol, and the MQTT in particular, will be more and more coming in our KNX project.
For the moment, my part is done. I want to thank you for the attention, and we will see later during the Q&A.
Hi to everyone. Thank you very much to be here. Let me start with why we create the bridge and why we design a product thinking about security and privacy, data integrity and identity. Essentially, today, an ecosystem required ever-increasing security. To fill these needs, we create the bridge that is a product that extends the KNX world to all available service platforms in the world. So, to be compliant, essentially, with all the platforms in the world, you must provide a very high level of security. How we can provide this kind of security? Essentially using a transport layer security that for technical aspect is called TLS and mutual TLS. But what are TLS and mutual TLS? So I just create an example to try to explain easily what these two kinds of security can provide. So let's imagine that we need to send money to the friends. Let's imagine we have to send the money, but we are worried someone may steal it during the transfer. So how we can protect that money? Essentially, the first step is by using TLS. We can protect the money by putting it in the box with a lock. This way, only the current recipient can accept the money, keeping it safe from prying eye. However, what if you are not sure that the recipient is really the right person? This is where mutual TLS come in, essentially. Mutual TLS is like having the proof identification. The sender can ask the recipient to show their identification to provide that is the right person. In this way, we can be sure that the money will be delivered to the right person and then that nobody can pretend to be someone else to steal the money. So, in other words, in a nutshell, by using TLS and the mutual TLS together, we can send the money securely with our privacy and knowing it's safe from prying eyes and will arrive to the right person. So what are MQTT protocol? We choose the MQTT protocol because de facto is IoT standard protocol. Think about MQTT as a complementary protocol to KNX. They have the same age, but they are born in a different context. MQTT was created by IT needs, essentially in the beginning from IBM and other players in 1999, and used to monitor oil pipelines with a SCADA industrial control system. So think about very, very long distance where we have only few bytes available for the communication. And this protocol is an information technology ISO, so also an open OASIS standard. OASIS Open is where individual, organization, government come together to solve some of the world's biggest technical challenge through the development of open code and open standard. What are the advantages of MQTTS protocol, let's say, because MQTTS means security, what we can provide to each level, security, privacy, data integrity, and identity. So is the scalability. KNX and MQTT are highly scalable, which means it can support a large number of devices and simultaneous connection. This makes it suitable for IoT application where there are many connected things. For example, energy efficiency. KNX and MQTT are lightweight protocol that required few resources to operate, which means limited energy resources for the communication. Security. KNX and MQTT offer several security options, such as authentication, authorization, and data encryption to protect the data transmitted from unauthorized access. Reliability. KNX and MQTT is a low latency messaging protocol that can be ensure message delivery with a low risk of loss. This makes it suitable for IoT application, where it is important that messages are delivered reliably and promptly. Interoperability. KNX and MQTT are an open standard protocol, which means it can be used by many devices and applications. It makes an ideal communication standard, for example, for IoT, where different device and system can integrate together and create complex solutions. So let's think about an IoT manager that need maybe to monitor only few elements. So let's say, I don't know, the energy, the light. Let's think about another back office system where they can essentially build a custom dashboard to be able to visualize everything. Essentially, KNX and MQTT enable the creation of efficient, scalable, secure, and reliable IoT system, offering great interoperability and flexibility in creating solutions and services. How practically MQTT works. With this schema, you can see that interoperability, machine-to-machine concept, using MQTT protocol is possible to interoperate with other devices anywhere in the world. As my colleague Andrea introduced you before, there is a concept about MQTT broker that can created easily on premise, or you can, for example, make a subscription to another, let's call it entity, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, or Amazon, and then you can easily connect with our bridge, the KNX world, to an MQTT broker, providing other services to other context, let's say, other tenant, with a very, very complementary protocol as KNX, with a publish and subscribe concept. So I let the word to my colleague, Dario. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Andrea. Very useful explanation of the MQTTS technology, new technology that we've started to explore recently in the building automation. Move forward to what's next. I will introduce you to some insight about the new range, the new family of touch panels that will be presented in the next webinar. So you will discover a family of visualization devices, 4.3 inches, 7 inches, 10 inches, black and white, and with IP connectivity, and multiple possibilities of integration, for example, with the video intercom, as you can see from this picture. And as always, I warmly invite you to stay tuned to our social networks, follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. You will be always updated. Don't lose the opportunity to read all our news. Okay, so another very important topic is the availability on the shelf of our products that we have presented in this webinar. So we start from the bridge and with the S range of actuators with the current sensing that will be available on the shelves from May 15. The new Empower dimmer 4-channels RGB plus white June the 15, and the accessories, the cable and the rail mounting device for the push button interfaces and the cable clamp from May 15. So in case you need any extra information in terms of quotations or for projects or quantities, don't hesitate to contact your reference sales manager. Another important topic is related to our marketing tools, our technical sales documentation, demo kits, catalogs with the product overview, the sub-product and solutions, the technical catalog, the Automo brochure, hospitality projects, and the demo cases and the dummy boxes that are always important for promoting products to your clients and also to the end users. Another topic is, in order to be immediately notified, please subscribe to our newsletter for those who are not yet subscribed. So you will get immediately all the information. And finally, meet the company. You will receive the follow-up email after this webinar. You will be allowed to scan the QR code in order to get the one-by-one immediate meeting scheduler. So in order to be contacted from any one of us immediately with priority. Okay, let me end by thank you for your attention and see you at the next webinar. Thank you. Bye-bye.